So, and this, in a way, this is an interesting device. This because it was a proof of principle device, but it was designed in such a way that it could be worn, and that was the thing which Michael, who had worked in literacy, liaised with the Ghana government, and there was a most wonderful woman who we worked with. Very sadly, she died recently. A wonderful woman, Agnes Adomensa, and Agnes worked for the NFED section of the Ghana Education Ministry. It's a non-formal education, and she was her role was to effectively run these programs where adults who had missed out on had missed out on their education, so they couldn't read. They are taught to read in these classes throughout Ghana, adult literacy classes. And they have a problem because these adults are presbyopic, which means they need reading glasses, but they weren't given reading glasses. And so the first significant deployment of these things was in the NFED program, and you can actually see here that if you look on the side arm there, it says NFED Ghana. And 11,000 of these were made, and they were put out around Ghana, and it was a successful deployment. I won't go into detail, but it was successful. And then, interestingly, what happened was this work became somewhat known through publicity, and the deployment started in about 2004. The NFED deployment was 2003, 2004, and they went on for several years. And as I say, 11,000 pairs were distributed. Interestingly, the next deployment of this model, what happened was I received an email one day from a major in the US Marines, Major Kevin White. And Kevin, who I subsequently got to know very well, said he was running a humanitarian assistance program for the US military, which involved healthcare and other things, and he had been giving away donated spectacles, and it didn't really work very well. And he'd Googled and discovered that I made these adjustable spectacles, and he said, could we supply them to the US government? So he came to see me, and he tried them, and he said, gee, these work. And we had a little bit of a dialogue with the government, and then we produced a second variant of these glasses. And if you look here, it's got a little American flag and "from the American people" on it. It's very similar to the other one, but this is the American variant. And over a period of some years, about 40,000 of these have been supplied by the US government in about 20 countries in humanitarian assistance programs to give effectively instant on-the-spot vision correction. And now I should say a little bit about where we are at now. So where did we get to? So this is a device. This is a proof of principle device. It's not really suitable to scale up to very large volume manufacture. Let's think about the problem for a minute. What is the problem? There's actually well over 1 billion people in the world who need vision correction and don't have it. The billion is a bit of an underestimate. I can go into detail as appropriate. it's actually over 2 billion that need vision correction, don't have it. So what do you need to do? Well, you've sort of got this stage of the process which is demonstrated viability. Now you need to be able to make eyeglasses for about $1, which work well, and you need to be able to make 1 billion of them. So you've got a real challenge. And how do you do that? Now, along the way, I started a company. I had started Adaptive Eye Care, which only got so far, but it could never really raise sufficient funding to do this, and it got to a certain stage, and then I actually was I was approached by a philanthropist who told me that his real aim was to help me bring eyewear to people in the developing world, which I thought was great, and on that basis I allowed him to invest in a company, the aim of which was to make a next generation product. Now, and we started down that route, and we made a next generation product, and we licensed that product. Well, I ran the company for a while, and then I stepped away from it, and we brought in, as it were, so-called professional managers. And the professional managers in the company didn't really share my humanitarian objective. They did what I guess many professional managers do. They basically tried to make money. And a second generation device, a next generation device was created. But I was a little surprised to see that what happened to it wasn't applied in the developing world. In fact, it was sold. It was sold off licensed off to another company. And that company raised some money, and it produced some other eyewear. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview now of the world's state-of-the-art variable focus eyewear. So here's a sneak preview. This is really the world's state-of-the-art variable focus eyewear as it exists today. This thing is called a Modify. It's a very interesting device. It has, you'll notice it's not round like all these other ones, and it has non-round fashionable lenses, but these lenses have the feature that you can change the power. This particular device is designed only for reading, and there's a reason for that. I won't go into that now, but there is a reason for it. But this is the world's state-of-the-art variable focus eyewear today.